Okay, this is the pilot episode for my talk show. It's called Chop It Up with Popp. This is the beginning of an installment of shows. This is episode 1. And as you can see from the advertisement, today's episode is entitled The Youth, Leaders of Tomorrow. So that is this is episode 1. So obviously, like I said, there's going to be a few quirks, There's going to be a few little hiccups here and there because, like I said, I'm still just getting everything fine-tuned. Okay, so y'all just bear with me, and y'all kind of give me some feedback and let me know how things are looking too, because this show is really about the people. It's really about you guys, and, we in this together. So if you can help me and let me know that if I'm having any technical difficulties or if you see something that's out of whack, please let me know. What's up, IG people? I see y'all. Y'all let me know if something is out of whack. Okay. So hopefully everybody can see me good now. So we're going to go ahead and get things rolling. All right. Now, I had some introductory music that I was going to play, but I wanted to get everything started on time. All right, so this is Chop It Up with Popp, episode 1, first episode. So this one is going down in the catalog. All right, it's going to be in the archives as the first episode. So I'm pretty sure by the next few episodes, it's going to be a lot smoother. All right. So basically, the way that this show works, the format is basically that is designed to create an open dialogue about different topics that me and my network on social media talk about all the time anyway. And it's also an opportunity to give you, the people, an opportunity to kind of get in the dialogue and to share. My show is going to be done a little bit differently than most because, one, I'm going to host, but I'm also going to bring on special guests. And my special guests are anybody who I deem as special, which is everybody. So you guys, as the fans, as the listeners, as the people tuning in, you will have an opportunity to also be on the show. So I will be reaching out periodically to those who are following to bring you on as a special guest. If there's a certain topic that kind of sticks out to you, that you feel strongly about, you can come on and we can dialogue together and for the audience, and I'll bring you in live on the video. I'm not sure if you can do that on IG. I think maybe you can. I don't know, but I know for sure on Facebook. The IG part, I gotta figure that out. But I know I can bring you on Facebook. If anybody can help me with that for IG, let me know. Okay. All right. So let's get started. The youth, the young people. All right. Who are the youth? Let me just let you know today's. The sponsor for today's show is Ice Squad Entertainment. Ice Squad Entertainment. All right. Obviously, the very first sponsor of the show is going to be my company, Ice Squad Entertainment. For IG people, there you go. Ice Squad Entertainment. You see, Ice Squad Entertainment. This show is sponsored by Ice Squad Entertainment. Ice Squad Entertainment is an independent record label out of Miami, Florida, that is also the home of the group Ice Squad, which consists of Blaze the Lion, hip-hop artist, Ramel the Youngster, hip-hop artist, and myself, Popp the Ripper. Together we form Ice Squad. So if you're a fan of Ice Squad, you can always find information about Ice Squad on the Ice Squad Entertainment website at icesquadent.com. That's icesquadent.com. So for music, merchandise, and tour dates, you can go to that website. and get more information. It's kind of weird because I don't like know which camera to look at. Okay, so I'm gonna look here with you guys. Okay, and then if you want to follow on IG, it's the labels. IG is iSquadEnt1, so at iSquadEnt1. The group you can follow at iSquadRap. All right, same thing on Twitter, and Facebook is just the name iSquad Entertainment. And then the group you can follow on Facebook, iSquad. iSquad is one word. The group, iSquad, is one word. The label is two words, Ice Squad, and then the third word, Entertainment. All right? So the show has been brought to you by iSquad Entertainment. So those are my plugs right there for our sponsor for tonight. So let's go. The youth. Who are the youth? The youth are the young people. All right? Not just small children, but people who are young. If you want to categorize it by age, that would probably be anybody from 1 year old to, I mean, if you want, you can go as high as 30 years old. You know what I mean? 30 years old. You can still call 30 young. You know what I mean? I would call 30 young because I'm past 30, but I consider that young people. I would say, let's categorize it. Let's not do it by age. Let's do it by school grade. So the youth would be anybody from elementary to college students. Okay, there we go. Those are the youth. Okay, so now we know who the youth are. Now we can talk about them. So today's topic is called the youth, leaders of tomorrow. Why did I name this show the youth, leaders of tomorrow? Is because that's a fact. The youth are the leaders of tomorrow. And I personally believe that that reality has not really resonated fully with adults. Because if we truly understood the position that the youth are in, I believe that as adults we would invest more to their development, to the building of their character. Because think about what's going on right now in this country. Speaking of the United States, that's where I am. I'm in the United States. Speaking of this country, when you think about leadership right now in this country, a lot of people are not happy with the leadership in this country. So guess what? If you're not happy with the leadership in this country, wouldn't you want to be kind of like at least making sure that your kids, your grandchildren don't have to worry about the things that you're concerned about when it comes to leadership of this country? You understand? And how do you actively do something about that? Well, let's go with our current president, Donald Trump. Nowadays, that's a name that a lot of people don't even want to bring up because it probably will bring up some feelings that are not good, because you know he don't have a lot of people in his corner right now. You know what I mean? A lot of people are upset with Donald Trump. But guess what? Donald Trump was a youth at one point. Donald Trump was a young person. You feel me? And now he, as an adult, he's leading the country. He's leading the United States of America. And guess what? There's some young person right now in elementary school, in middle school, in college, that's also probably going to be the next president of the United States. The way Donald Trump is right now, I'm talking about his character. The way he is right now, character-wise, didn't just start when he became president. Okay? So if you have concerns or you have issues about his character, which rightfully so we should, you know, as the leader of the country, you have to understand that this started way before he became president. This started developing in his mindset as a young person. How he feels about women, how he feels about minorities, how he feels about other countries, how he feels about people in general, how he feels about poor people versus rich people. You know what I mean? All of these mindsets were developed as to his character as he grew up. So it had a lot to do with the adults that he was around, the people in his immediate circle that helped develop his character to become the man that you see today. Okay? So with the young people, it's the same thing. Whatever they're experiencing right now, whatever thoughts that's developing now based on their environment, based on their observations of adults, this is going to help them develop into who they are as an adult. And whatever position they hold, that character is going to come out in that position. So guess what? Somebody has to be the next president. Somebody has to be the next senator. Somebody has to be the next governor. Somebody has to be the next mayor. Somebody has to be the next police officer. You understand? Somebody has to be the next parents to raise the next generation. Oh boy. Okay. I just had a little hiccup. I just lost my camera. Hold on a second. Okay. Hiccup number 6. All right. Let me try to get that back going. I'm sorry, IG. I know I lost y'all for a minute there. I'm sorry. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm back. I apologize. Okay. So basically, yeah. So it's all about character development. That's why I say that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. So if you ignoring the young people that's in your life, if you're setting a bad example for the young people that's in your life, if you're not nurturing them and helping develop them into productive, thinking adults, people with good morals, good character, if you're not helping develop that, if you're actually being a detriment to that, then if they become a leader to lead your grandchildren and they're horrible at it, then we have a part to play. We have a part to blame in that. So to me, the youth are the biggest investment that we can make in society, the young people, because our lifespan already dictates that young people are a valuable asset. Because we don't just want to die off and leave the world in shambles and then expect them to pick up the pieces. You understand? We want to make sure that they have a good example to follow. They have a good pattern to pick up from. You understand? Because they're watching. One thing about young people, see, I'm a father of 3. All right, I have 3 little girls. I have an 11-year-old, I have a 10-year-old, and I have a 6-year-old. Little girls. You understand? And they're observing me to determine how they feel about men. You understand? And how they feel about a lot of things. How they feel about fathers. How they feel about husbands. How they feel about just people, just as a citizen, as somebody in society. Like, they're watching. They're watching their mother. They're watching their auntie, their uncles. They're watching their teachers. They're watching all of the adults in their lives to help determine what is the right way to be. What is the right way to live? You understand? You got to understand, like, children are like sponges. You know what I mean? Children are like sponges, and you can kind of look at the adults as the water. And what it is when they get around this pool of adults, they just soak up everything that these adults are giving off. And as we know, there's many different characters, type of people out there. So when children are exposed to different adults, they're getting all of this. You know what I'm saying? And it's sticking in their mind. And sometimes they don't know how to separate what's correct and what's not correct, because they see it as a norm. I'll give you a perfect example. Okay, so your child goes to school and they hear all of these rules and regulations, right? They hear show respect for one another, share, be friendly, don't use bad language, ask before you take something, be on time. Just to name a few. Respect the people in the classroom. Don't fight. Whatever it is. You understand? And then guess what? The teachers are telling them this because these are the correct things that they should be telling the kids. But guess what? as the kid is taking that in, because again, they're like sponges, what happens when they go home? What happens when they go home? Now, when they go home, is it complementing those things, what they're seeing? Or is it contradicting those things? And this is something we all have to think about, including myself as parents. You understand? As adults, I know sometimes we can like almost forget like the kids are in the room. And we go on tangents and we do different things that, you know, we don't even realize that they're picking up on. You understand? So they go to school, and if they were to use a bad word in school, they would be reprimanded. They would be suspended. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't hear the teachers doing that, and they know that it's wrong. But when they go home, every other word come out your mouth is a curse word. Now the child is like, okay, well, what's right and what's wrong? I got one side of adults telling me one thing and another side of adults showing me something else. And we say that the parent is supposed to have the most influence on the child, right? So that means that what we're doing as parents holds even more weight than the teachers. But at the same time, kids don't really see necessarily all the time parents and teachers. They don't really categorize everybody like that. A lot of times what they just see is adults, because they feel like adults are supposed to know better. So when they see an adult doing something, it's like, okay, this has to be right because there's an adult doing it. You know? Unless they parents are constantly telling them something, hey, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. And that starts developing their head, then they're able to recognize eventually, okay, this adult is not doing the right thing. You understand? But every kid is not processing it like that. Every kid is not processing it like that. So it's our obligation, our duty as adults to make sure that we are setting the right example for the young people. Why? Because the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. And we're the leaders of today. So how are we displaying leadership? That's the key. That's the key. Are we training? Are we developing another Donald Trump for that's going to show up 20 years from now? Are we developing another racist person that's going to show up 20 years from now because they see what we're doing? Are we developing somebody that's going to be vindictive, somebody that's going to be hateful, somebody that's going to be mean, petty, drama starting, all this stuff? Like, you understand, like, we are planting those seeds now in our young people. And I didn't even get into the criminal aspect of it. You feel me? Are they seeing criminal activity? Are they seeing thug mentality? Are they seeing, things that's going to eventually get them in a whole lot of trouble? Are they seeing that? Because they'll take that as right too. And they by the time they figure out it's really wrong, it's too late. They got a record, or they done did something they ain't had no business doing, and now they caught up. You feel me? They caught up. What's good, Tony? I see you, man, on IG. All right. So, yeah, man. So, let's talk about that. How you guys feel about that? About the examples that and the part that adults play in the lives of children. What do you think about that? What do you guys think about that? Feel free to chime in. Feel free to chime in. And I know that a lot of people say it's funny. Like, a lot of people point at the parents and say, "Oh, the parents is supposed to show them this right way, wrong way, etc." Right? But here's the reality about being a young person. A young person has many avenues of influence, not just their parents, and that's every young person on the face of the earth. Look at yourself when you was growing up. Did you have role models? Didn't you have idols? Didn't you have people that you looked up to other than your parents? So what makes us think that our kids are not the same way? Yeah, at home, it's all about mommy and daddy, but they're not always home. When they leave the house, it's about their friends. It's about their best friend, their BFF. It's about the clique they roll with. It's about the people who they think are cool. It's not always about mommy and daddy. It's about whoever they bumping in their headphones, their favorite artist, you know, who's serenading them every day with their favorite song. These are the people too that also have influence over your children. And we tend to ignore that. You know, that's why I say everybody has a responsibility to train the next generation. And coming from a music aspect, coming from an entertainer aspect, because that's the business I'm in, I take that very seriously as well. Because if your kids are following me, your kids like what I'm doing, I have their attention. I have their ear. And you should be concerned about what I'm putting in their ear. And as an artist, I should be concerned about what I'm putting in their ear. I should be concerned about what my song is saying, what my music is, what message am I giving to the children that follow me. I should be concerned about that, because it all plays a part in their development as the leaders of tomorrow. Their mindset is being currently developed. See, you ever heard adults say, I'm set in my ways? I'm set in my ways. Basically what they're saying is that they ain't never gonna change. I'm set in my ways. So that means that there's a certain point in adulthood to where all of the information that you have been acquiring over time has now come to a tipping point. It came basically to a head. It came to a plateau, if you will. And now you're taking everything that you learned or everything that you experienced, and you made a decision of who you want to be. See, children are not at that point yet. Young people are not at that point yet. They're still trying to decide who they want to be. They're still trying to figure out what type of individual they want to be. So they're taking that information from all different sources. They're taking it from everybody, parents included, but there's not just the parents. They're taking that from their favorite ball player. They're taking it from their favorite rapper, their favorite singer, their favorite whoever. Sometimes their favorite person is just the person they go to lunch with at school. You never know. For some reason they think that person is so cool and they want to do everything that person do. You never know. But it ain't no politician like us. See, our favorite person be like politicians and people that young people don't even care about. So we try to put a politician in front of them like that's going to make a difference to them. They don't care. They may be, kind of in awe at that they met somebody who they saw on TV, but they don't care about your position. They don't care about your political parties and all that stuff. Children don't care about that. The things that influence them are so far off from the things that influence us as adults. So it's like we have to take it serious. We have to take it seriously. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, listen, my mom always told me the right thing to do. My mom was a very, very religious, strict person. You feel me? And my dad was very just strict. You know what I mean? Like, he just did not play the radio. He would, like, put it on you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I was always told what not to do and don't do this and don't do that. But guess what? When I'm listening to my favorite rapper, like Popp at the time, hey, Thug Life, baby, that became a reality to me. You feel what I'm saying? And then when I'm out there in them streets, away from my parents and all the other dudes and all the other kids out there on the same thing, hey, it's Thug Life, baby. It's what, that becomes our reality. Like, you have a home life and then you have a away from home life. And then eventually the away from home life become more of a reality to you because that's where you're spending the most time. You understand? We got to realize that our young people are not always home up under our wing. And even when they act like they listening and following everything that we telling them, come on, man, really? What they thinking about more? They thinking about what's going to impress their little friend at school. That's the reality. So we got to be real about that. So I guess I'll pose a question in here so we can get some dialogue going. All right. So here's the question. So what are some things we can do we can do as adults to set a better example for the youth of today? That's the question. Let's go with that. What are some things we can do as adults to set a better example for the youth of today? That's the question. All right. So feel free, everybody. Anybody can chime in. I thank everybody for watching. Feel free to chime in at any time, and you can answer the question. You can even ask a question. That's fine. Again, this is the pilot episode, episode 1 of Chop It Up with Popp. This is my live talk show, and it's gonna get, as time goes on, it's gonna get even more and more and more advanced and more intriguing, and just and appreciate y'all. You know, I'm this is something, again, I'm endeavoring to do to help develop my public speaking skills, because that's something that I definitely have a desire to do, to take that, to different levels and be able to speak to the public on different matters that are vital in today's society. So yeah, it's more than just about music life for me. I love music. I've always loved music since I was a kid, but part of me wanting to make music is because I had something to say, and I still have things to say. And now in 2017, there's so many different ways to express that. So I'm just exploring those different ways. You know what I mean? Music is just one way, but also now we have the ability to actually dialogue together, through technology. So yeah, I'm also working on a screenplay too. Y'all hear more about that. But yeah, man, taking things to the next level. So yeah, so that's the question. Anybody want to chime in on that? What are some things we can do as adults to set a better example for the youth of today? Anybody got any thoughts on that? IG, same question. Oh, let me. IG, did you hear the question, IG? Okay. IG, y'all can chime in too. What are some things we can do as adults to set a better example for the youth of today? I can't really type it in on IG like I did in Facebook. But for IG, everybody that's on IG, I see y'all. What's up? Appreciate y'all checking in. All right, so the question for IG again, what are some things we can do as adults to set a better example for the youth of today? So IG, feel free to chime in on that. All the people on IG, all the people on Facebook. What are some things we can do as adults to set a better example for the youth of today? Anybody got any thoughts on that? I know y'all got some thoughts on it. Now, don't be shy. Don't be shy. This is a talk show. Keyword being talk. I see y'all watching. I see y'all listening. So help me out. What are your thoughts on that? What are some things we can do as adults to set a better example for the youth of today? If you've been watching, you see we talked about different things, gave different examples of things that help develop the character of a young person, whether negative or positive. You know what I mean? It can go either way. But what are some things we can do to set a better example for the youth of today? Because we setting an example whether we want to or not. And that's the reality. This is not one of those sideline things that you can just sit on the sideline and not get involved, because if you're an adult, you automatically are setting an example for the next generation. That's just a fact. Just being an adult automatically puts you into that position. You understand? It doesn't matter if it's your child or somebody else's child. We all are planting seeds, you know what I mean, as adults, into the character of young people, into their minds, into their thoughts, you know what I mean, because they're very observant. Young people, man, kids, they're very observant. They watch everything, and they'll repeat it back to you. They'll show you exactly what you was talking about. I mean, they'll bring it back, something you said 3 weeks ago, something you did 3 weeks ago. They'll be bringing it up. You understand? You know, and then after we get it past this part, we'll get into, you know, the social media aspect of it, because what we also fail to realize is that we also set an example, not just in our day-to-day lives for the young people, for the next generation. We also set an example on social media. You know what I mean? Young people are the ones who spearheaded social media, so they definitely on social media. They love social media. They, you know, it's the adults that's all slow and trying to catch up. But the young people, they all over social media, so they ain't blind. They see what's going on. They see what's happening. You know what I mean? They see how the adults are acting on social media. And what you don't understand is that validates the behavior in the mind of a young person. When they see an adult doing something, subconsciously that validates as okay in their mind, because they figure, okay, so as an adult, that is okay. So I can't wait to get to be an adult so I can do what adults do, because that's what adults do from what I'm looking at. Or they may say, well, I ain't going to even wait till I'm an adult. I'm going to do that now because I want to be grown anyway. So let me see what these adults are doing so I can learn how to be grown and how to be an adult. So whatever that example is, that's what they're going to pick up on. That's what they're going to follow. If it's ratchetness, that's what they follow. If it's wisdom, that's what they follow. If it's responsibility, that's what they follow. If it's anger, if it's negativity, then that's what they follow. So anybody got any thoughts on that? And if not, we're going to move on to something else. So I'm going to ask the question again. What are some things we can do as adults to set a better example for the youth of today? Talk to me. Talk to me, people. All right, so guess we ain't got nobody want to jump in on that question. All right, then. So let's go on to the next thing then. So we talked about the social media aspect of it. Now, you know, the thing about it is that with today's technology, every single one of us who are involved in social media, what we're doing is we're creating a archive. That's the best way I can put it. We're creating an archive of our life. We're creating an archive of our mindset. We're creating an archive of our values. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of us may think it's all just for fun and games or whatever like that, and that may be your mindset. That may be your thought process when you're on social observant and watching. You understand? Because if you put all of your worst attributes out there for the whole world to see, and you hold back your great attributes, you are setting a precedence for people to look at you as that, whatever it is you put out. And you can't even get mad. See, because what we don't realize is that social media has actually become almost like a digital resume for us. And we don't think about that until it's actually affecting us, until there's something on the table that can help us and benefit us that is now being delayed or being passed on or missed out on because of our digital resume, our digital track record, which is social media. I hear people sometimes say, "Oh, what I do on social media, that ain't really who I am." Nah, man, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I think social media gives us an opportunity to express who we really are. It gives us an opportunity to truly be who it is, whoever it is we are, because it gives you an outlet of expression. It's almost like a diary. It's almost like when you're writing a song or you're writing a book. You know what I mean? You're letting the world know what's on your mind, what your thoughts are. That's why when Mark Zuckerberg came up with that phrase, "What's on your mind?" that question to put into the post when you're getting ready to post something, that was the perfect statement he could have ever made. What's on your mind? Because that's exactly what we type. What's on our mind? And depending on what's on our mind at that time, that's what come out. You understand? Sometimes we feeling funny, sometimes we feeling angry, sometimes we feeling positive, sometimes we feeling negative, sometimes we feeling petty, sometimes we feeling nasty. Sometimes it's like all that stuff comes out on social media. But the thing about it is that is really a digital track record, especially for those who do not know you. Now, if there are any young people that know you, or any young people that follow you, or any young people that look up to you, and they go and look at your digital track record, what are we showing? What example are we giving? You understand? If you're a parent, I mean, even if you're not a parent, it's important. But if you are a parent, I mean, come on. You really think your kids... And it's the funny thing about it. Like, if you may say, "Oh, well, my baby 2, or my baby 3 years old, she ain't on no social media." But guess what? Everything you did on social media is still out there. So when your baby turn 10 or whatever, and she old enough to get on social media, oh, trust me, she gonna research mama and daddy and see what they was talking about, what they was doing. And you know what that's gonna do for you as a parent? That's going to make you, if it's not the right example, that's going to make you lose credibility when you are chastising or when you're trying to discipline your child. You're going to lose credibility with them, because you cannot teach your kids to be morally sound when you're doing immoral things publicly. It just won't work. I deal with young people all the time. I go to schools, I go to different events, and I talk to young people. And one thing I have learned over the years dealing with young people is their biggest issue with us as adults is hypocrisy. That is the biggest issue that adults have that children, young people have with us, is hypocrisy. Because we stand in the position of authority to raise them and tell them the right thing to do, but then our life don't line up with that, and yet we expect them to obey. And that don't even make sense to you as an adult. You wouldn't even do that, but we expect children to do that. We call out hypocrisy all day long as adults. Every time we see somebody that don't line up with whatever it is they're expressing, or they're teaching, or they're telling everybody else, we quick to call that out. We do it with church people all the time. We do it with our political leaders all the time. You know what I mean? We do it with the police department all the time. We always calling out hypocrisy. Why? Because we hate to have people in authority tell us one thing and live something else. So what makes us think that the children, the young people, don't feel the same way? So guess what? If your social media, your digital track record, your digital resume does not line up with what you are raising, the way you are supposedly trying to raise your child, you can't really blame nobody but yourself. Because they could be like, Mom, look at this. On December 12th, December 12th, 2014, you right here doing exactly what you're talking to me about. So how you figure? That man ain't your husband. What y'all doing there, y'all wasn't supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? You telling me not to fight in school, but you done shared 20 fight videos in the last year. And you commented on it like, look at what she did to her. She beat her behind. They see all that. They see all that. But you know what the problem is? We don't care enough about the young people to adjust our lives. We don't care. Like, if you ask any adult, hey man, do you care about what happens to the young people? Everybody gonna say yeah. Everybody gonna say yeah. Because why? That's the right thing to say. But do we really care about the young people? Oh yeah, I'm about to go in. Do we really care about the young people? Because what's going to determine if we really care about the young people? Our words? No. Our actions will determine if we really care about young people. Because most of the time, we not thinking about the young people. You know when we thinking about the young people? When it's too late to have any influence in their lives. That's when we care about the young people. When they so fed up and they just don't care no more, that's when we want to have input and we want to get involved, so to speak. And you know, this is one thing that kind of helps govern my thought process when I'm making records and I'm writing songs and doing music or just doing a lot of things in general. You know, as a public figure, you know, I think about this thing. I think about, okay, so how are the young people going to relate to this? How are the young people going to be affected by this? We don't like the fact that there are a lot of young people having children way too early. We don't like that, right? We think that that's a horrible epidemic. But yet, we will come, as I'm just speaking from the musician standpoint, as an artist standpoint, but yet we will continuously make sexually explicit music that is going to be promoted to young people. That's probably going to become their favorite record. Don't kill a messenger. I'm just stating facts right now. We say that we don't like the violence in our community. We tired of seeing these young people kill each other. But as soon as you get in the booth, Mr. Rapper, the first song you want to make is a song about how many people you gonna kill, how many people you done shot, how many bodies you gonna get, how many bodies you gonna catch. We tell our young people not to sleep around with everybody. There's diseases out there. You don't want to get pregnant early. Have one person that you with. Don't be having 5-6 different women or 5-6 different men. Don't be no hoe. Don't do all this. Don't be out there like that. Don't be no thought. Da 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 da. Okay. And if you ask any artist if they agree with that, they will say, yeah, we don't want the young people doing that. But we'll go right in the booth and make a song teaching them how to be that way. This is what I'm saying. This is why the young people are so confused right now. We tell them to stay away from drugs. Don't get on drugs. We tell them don't go out there selling drugs. But yet, that's the first thing we talk about in the studio when we cutting the record. We ain't got nothing else to say but be a drug dealer, use drugs, get your pistol, shoot somebody if they try you, and chase money your whole life. Chase money and sex your whole life. Ain't nobody talking about no other alternative way of life. Nobody ain't talking about being a husband. Nobody ain't talking about being a wife. Nobody ain't talking about being a good parent. Ain't nobody talking about getting a job. Ain't nobody talking about going to college. Ain't nobody talking about putting the guns down. Ain't nobody talking about stay away from drugs. Do you know that the majority of hip hop artists, when this thing first jumped off, they was afraid to go there. They was like, they did not want to put out a negative message. There were a few that did, but for the most part, they wanted to use it as a tool to inspire the neighborhood. Inspire the neighborhood. For you 80s babies, you 70s babies, you remember walking around with, we was proud of, as black people were proud of their culture. You know, we used to wear the African colors and all that stuff, the medallions, the peace signs. You know, everything was about unity and positivity and bringing everybody together, man. It was not about killing your neighbor. You understand? It was rappers that talked about how whack it was to use drugs. Using drugs used to be like something that you laughed at the person that was using drugs. Rappers used to clown people about that, you know? And these rappers were huge. They had huge careers. You look at the history of KRS-One, Public Enemy, even Run DMC talked about how, you know, they stay away from drugs and they trying to get through college. And they were huge. It ain't like they wasn't eating. So they had a choice, and they chose to go with the positive. Why? Because they knew that the young people were the leaders of tomorrow, and they had to set the right example. There was one particular record, which is still to this day one of my favorite records. It's called dang, my mind went blank, and it is one of my favorites. Self-Destruction. Thank you. Self-Destruction. Self-Destruction was a collaboration of all of the hot artists, rappers at that time. I think this came out in like the mid 80s. It was like a collaboration of so many rappers, man. I think it was like maybe 15 rappers on that record. They had to do two parts, part one and part two. It was crazy. Then they did one on the West Coast. And it was all rappers coming together, giving a positive message, because guess what? It was important. That's what they was on. They wanted to make sure that as rappers, they were also great role models. Will we ever see another record like that with such a huge collaboration of artists with a good message? I doubt it. I pray that it will happen again. But see, the problem is if we try to manufacture that now, it's going to come off as fake and it's not going to be authentic. Why? Because of the fact that if we were to grab all the artists that's out now and do a record like that and then put it out there, and then the young people are going to be like, wait, hold on. This ain't you lying, because when I listened to your album, you just told me to do the total opposite. You just told me to use drugs. You just told me to shoot somebody. So now you on the record telling me don't? See, it won't coincide with who they really are. So it's like we can't even come together and bring enough rappers together to make a record like that. So I think Self-Destruction is going to end up being a classic and just a historical place in time when rappers were once, when rappers once cared about, the youth. So sad, but it's true. Hey, Lucy, how you doing? I see you. Miss you too. Thanks for tuning in to my talk show, Chop It Up with Popp. Chopping it up right now. We're talking about the youth, the leaders of tomorrow. And so I hope everybody kind of see where I'm coming from with this when concerning the young people. We have a responsibility, y'all. We have responsibility, and when we go before God and we give an account for the life that we live, we are going to be held accountable for the example that we set for the young people. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that young people are very precious to God. Young people are very precious to God. And when people set a bad example, or when people cause young people to go the wrong path because they're bad leaders as adults, that really upsets God. How do I know? Because it's in Scripture. See, that's why I say all the time, you hear me say we need to get the mind of God, because If we got the mind of God, we will know how to look at things like the state of young people and recognize the part we play. You understand? We'll understand why this is so important and why we should be actively setting a good example for young people. Because you may say, that ain't my child, I ain't worrying about them or whatever, blah, blah. I'm doing me, getting my money, whoop de whoop, whatever. But no, you still have a responsibility because you are an adult. You're the one supposed to know better. These kids are learning. You're supposed to already know. You had your chance to be a child. So you're supposed to already know how, what a child should and should not do. So how do they learn that? By watching you. By watching you. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's important to God the example that we set for young people. I give you a perfect example. Let's go to Matthew 18, right? I'm just to give you a couple scriptures and I said we're gonna keep it moving. Matthew 18:6. It says, and if anyone, this is Jesus talking, okay? It says, if anyone causes one of these little ones who believe in me to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and be drowned in the depths of the sea. Whoa. Whoa. That's serious. That's how serious Jesus was about young people. Matter of fact, during this particular time when he was talking about this, there was young people around, and he brought a young person next to him as an example when he was teaching this, and he used the young person as an illustration. Sat the child on his lap, and he said, because he was kind of teaching everybody like the mindset you're supposed to have when you come to him. When you come to God, you can't come like an adult who know everything, who think they know everything. You have to come like a child. And a child comes how? Humble. A child comes wanting to learn, wanting to know more, wanting to be taught. You know what I mean? To receive. You know what I mean? To be developed. That's why he said, come like a child. Because in verse 5 it says, and whoever welcomes a little child like this in my name welcomes me. So he wants us to come like children. Okay, so that's why he was using that example. But then again, he goes on in verse 6 to say, but if anyone of you, he was talking to the adults that was looking. He said, but if anyone causes one of these little ones who believe in me to stumble, it would be better for him to have a large milestone hung around his neck. Now, I'm going to put this in 2017 terms so y'all can see how serious this is right here. So what he's saying basically is, you see this little kid right here? First of all, y'all need to be like this little kid when y'all come to me. Humble yourself, okay? Be like a child. And if any of you grown adults who think y'all know everything cause any of these little kids to not believe in me anymore because of your bad example, it's better that you take a big old giant rock, get a rope, put it around your neck, tie it real tight, walk up to the ocean on the edge of the pier, and throw the rock in the water and go down with the rock. That's basically what he's saying. That's what he's saying. That's how serious the example we set for young people is to God. It's serious, y'all. This is a part of this is a requirement as adults. We are accountable. We are accountable to that. And we will be held accountable to the example that we set for young people. Okay? And then guess what? After that, he says, be better for him to have a large milestone hung around his neck and be drowned in the depths of the sea. It's better for you to drown than to set a bad example for young people. Just saying. That's what the words say, not me. Don't beat me up. And then guess what? Verse 7. He says, woe to the world for the cause of sin. These stumbling blocks must come, but woe to the man through whom they come. Woe mean like, boy, look out. Like, woe basically mean like, I feel sorry for you. That's what, when you see in the Bible it talks about woe, use the word woe, W-O-E. That means like, boy, I feel sorry for you. So somebody say woe, I mean, like Black Rob had that record, like woe. That's what it is. Like woe. Woe mean, boy, I feel sorry for you. So that's what Jesus is saying. He said, I feel sorry for you. If you stumble these young people, I feel sorry for you. And he's saying these stumbling blocks must come, meaning that obviously there are going to be people that's going to set the bad example. He already established that. There's going to be people that don't do the right thing. and set the wrong example for young people. But woe to the man through whom that comes, it says. Woe to the man. I feel sorry for the person that does it. So do you see how serious this is? You know what I'm saying? So this is not something that we can just brush under the rug. It's not something that we can just ignore and think that it's cool just to set any type of example for the young people. You know, when I was coming up, used to hear adults say all the time, do what I say, not what I do. That is so hypocritical. Like, that's not how it works. That's not even reality. Do what I say and not what I do? What? No, what resonates more with somebody? Your words or your actions? You get what I'm saying? And this goes for me and everybody else. I'm in the same bucket. Okay? I you know, that's why it's vital for me to be a better parent. Because my kids are watching. God is watching. The example that I'm setting, it matters. We hold some responsibility to the way that these children grow up. We don't like Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump is the enemy, okay? Whatever. Everybody is, we hate Trump. We hate Trump. But guess what? Trump is not the only person responsible for who he is right now. The adults that he was around growing up play a big part of that. They have a lot of responsibility to who he is right now. And it goes the same way for us. The young people that we have influence over, the young people that are within our circle, we are responsible for the example that we set. When you see a young person around, that is definitely the time to even tighten up even more. You see a lot of you go into the Walmart and stuff like that, for example. I see y'all IG. I'm still with y'all. I know I'm looking at Facebook more than y'all, but I'm still with y'all. All right, feel free to chime in, IG. When you go into like the Walmart, what example, you see these parents that just be popping off and firing up right in front of their kids like it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I done lost IG. Boy, see, IG don't even give you enough time. Like, what you call them? Okay. Oh, well, I guess we got to come back again. All right, so what I was saying. Yeah, you go into the Walmart and you see these parents popping off. You know what I'm saying? Just talking grimy right in front of their kids. They talking to their kids like a dog. Like they cussing out a dog. You know what I'm saying? And they don't realize that they are going to be held accountable for that. Now, I'm not saying you don't discipline your children. You don't you don't keep them in line. But what I'm saying is that even in that, we're showing the children how to discipline their children. We're showing them how to be adults and how to be parents. So if your form of parenting is cuss your child out and call them everything except for a child of God, then guess what? You just taught your daughter or your son how to be a parent. And then when they grow up and they do the same thing with their children, you can't even look and shake your head. Because you showed them that. You showed them that. Now, they could always grow up as adults and do a total transformation of their life. You know, I mean, I'm a perfect example of that. You know, God can come in and just change your whole way of thinking. But the point is that there will still be a period as an adult where they will only do what they know. They will only do what they see. And you, as an adult, are responsible for that. That's why it's so important for us as adults to get ourselves together so that the young people will have an example to follow. When you know, I go to different seminars and different meetings about young people and what we need to do to, you know, have all these conversations about what we need to do to help the young people get their mind right. My thing is we need to first get our mind right as adults. That will fix at least about 45 to 50% of the problem. Because a lot of times they're only doing what they see. Look how many videos are out there with young people fighting. These fight videos. There's got to be hundreds. If not, we probably in the thousands now. Where did he get that from? And then they film it and then they put it out there to go viral. Where they get that from? Where they get that from? You know where they get that from? All you got to do is turn to your local reality show and watch what the adults are doing and watch how they interacting with one another. What they doing? Fighting. Calling each other B's and F's and H's and every 4-letter word you could think of. You can't even understand the whole conversation because every other word is muted. And then next thing you know, they fighting and they scrapping. Adults. So are we really shocked and surprised that we scroll through our timeline and we see a video going viral of young people doing the same exact thing? Are we really surprised? And they probably didn't see their mama and daddy doing that. But guess what? They saw an adult. And now it's stuck in here. So we all have a responsibility, like I said. Thurston, I see you, homie. I appreciate the love, brother. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So y'all get what I'm saying? This is a serious thing. Serious thing. Again, the title of this episode is The Youth, Leaders of Tomorrow. Leaders of Tomorrow. What are you training the leader of tomorrow that's around you to do and be like? I got girls, right? I got 3 girls. I want my girls, just like any father would, to grow up one day, find them a husband, or a husband find them rather. They get married, have their children, have their own family, etc., right? But how would they know what that's even like if there is no example of that? What if my daughter saw me with a different woman every month? What if they saw their mama with a different man every month? We think they don't pay attention to that. We think they don't see that. We think they don't care. It doesn't matter. They're not going to be affected. Okay. We're teaching them about everything. We're teaching them about relationships. You understand? When on the news, on CNN, when they talk about like the moral compass of this country right now, how it's all out of whack, they're talking about the adults. They ain't talking about the kids. They talking about the adults. So if the adults' moral compass is out of whack, what do you think is going to happen with the young people? And I believe the mindset that we have is that, well, I live my life and they got to live theirs. So what we do is we do whatever we want to do, regardless of who's affected or who's watching or any of the young people in our lives. We just do what we want to do as adults because we know that eventually we're going to grow old, we're going to die off and be gone, and we're going to just leave them to their own devices. And to me, that's the most selfish mindset you can have as an adult. To not even care about the example that you left behind for the young people that was in your realm and sphere of influence. You got to answer for that. You got to answer for that. And that's why as an artist, personally, I would be so convicted knowing that I have records that are all over the country basically giving instructions on how to destroy your life so that I can make $1. And now young people all over the country are bopping to it and just sucking it in, taking it in with my voice. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we have a responsibility. And I know we got the whole free speech, Constitution, etc., but what we don't realize is that just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And with everything that we are allowed to do and we have the freedom to do in this country, it still comes with some form of responsibility. Perfect example, the use of guns. We have the freedom to have a gun, but don't you think we still have a responsibility to think about with that gun? Same thing. Just because it's permissible does not mean that it is okay. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that it's cool. Just because the government say, yeah, you can do that, doesn't mean it's okay. This is why we have to, as individuals, we have to be able to tap into our conscience and tap into, the mind of God to be able to know what's really right from wrong. Because if we just depend on the government to tell us what's right from wrong, then we've made the government God. And who knows what the government is going to say is okay next. They may start allowing children to get married even younger. And just because it's okay, we gonna say, just because the government say that that's the law or that's cool now, then we should just say, oh, then that's good then, let's do it. A lot of states are legalizing weed. And just because the government say it's legal, does that mean that you should get high? Think about it. Just because you can does not mean you should. When you're high, you're not in your full state of mind. Just like when you're drunk, you're not in your full state of mind. It's legal to drink alcohol, but it's irresponsible to get drunk. It's legal in some places to smoke weed, but it's irresponsible to be walking around high. So why smoke it? You get what I'm saying? Now I know there's medicinal purposes and all that, but to be honest with you, the people that's fighting for it and rooting for it, they ain't got no medical issues. Okay, they want weed to be legalized so that they can get high, period. That's why it's such a big push for it, because people want to keep getting high and not go to jail. Nobody don't care about no medicinal purposes. Come on. You'd be like 19 years old talking about make weed legal, make weed legal. Come on, man. We know what time it is. But yeah, and that's another thing. Young people are watching all of this. Young people are watching all of this. So they like, so it's cool to get high? Okay. Thank you, adults, for showing me that it's cool to get high. It's so cool that we're going to fight to make it legal to get high. Wow. Okay. Got it. Check that off on my how to be an adult list. It's cool to get high. These are things that we don't think about as adults. You know what I'm saying? A president only get 8 years maximum to be president. And that's it. Then it's somebody else's turn. If they make it to 8 years, they may not even get a second turn. Everybody, every generation get a shot. So we preparing that next generation. We showing them what's important. We showing them what's valuable. We showing them if family and marriage is more valuable than shacking up, if they still use that term. You know what I mean? Just basically picking somebody and just being with them, but no actual legal commitment. These are things that they observe and they see, and they determine what they're gonna filter in their mind right from wrong, how they're gonna filter and develop their character as adults. Now, you can do what you want to do. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, what not to do. What I'm saying here in this particular conversation is that we have to be mindful of the example that we set for our young people. We know the things that we do as adults that are not right. We know the mistakes that we have made and still making. So I would say start there. Start there. But before you even start there, take an evaluation of all the young people that you are around. Take an evaluation of all the young people that you come in contact with. Take an evaluation of all the young people that's sitting right there in the living room when you and your homeboys or you and your homegirls are talking and chilling. Think about all of the young people that's sitting right there taking mental notes of your behavior. That's the first thing to do, because once you realize that, then you'll realize how important it is to do a self-evaluation of your character. As a parent, I got to do that all the time. Sometimes I got to go back to my children and say, you know what? Daddy was dead wrong for that. I'm sorry. That I shouldn't have did that. I have to make sure they know that. I have to make sure they know that. I don't just do it and I can't just do it and let it sit, because then they're going to take that as, okay, that's how it's supposed to go, because that is my father. That's my mother. You understand? It seemed like a lot of adults just kind of lost hope in bringing any change into their lives personally, because again, adults will have that mindset. I done lived this long. I'm stuck in my ways. I ain't never gonna change. I done seen it all, done it all. I ain't gonna do nothing different. Okay. You don't care about you, but do you care about them? At least, do you care about them at least? Are you willing to give them a chance to make a better choice? Are you willing to give the young people in your life a better opportunity to be better than you? Or you going to be selfish and just do you, as they say, and forget who don't like it? Forget the young people that's influenced by it. Is that going to be the mindset? Is that going to be the thought process? Let me give y'all another scripture just to show y'all how important this is to God, about as far as setting the example that we set for young people. Ephesians 6, and this one is talking to the daddies. Woo! This one hits home because this one is talking to me. Okay? This one says, fathers, Ephesians 6:4. Look it up. It says, fathers, do not exasperate your children. Instead, bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord. Another version says, fathers, do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. Ooh, hold on now. Hold on. So I got to care about if my child get angry with me. I'm the parent, right? I'm the adult here. Why should I care if they angry with me? Okay, let's see how God feel about that. What the word say. Ephesians 6:4, I'll read it again. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. Rather, bring them up with the discipline and instruction that comes from the Lord. Wow. So I actually have to be mindful of how I interact with my child. That's what the words say. Do not provoke your children to anger. And see, I ain't gonna lie, like that kind of hit me kind of hard, because like sometimes I don't care if they're upset. I don't care if they're upset. But what is it really saying here? What it really saying is that you cannot just leave stuff just out there without no type of with no type of understanding. You know what I'm saying? You can't just leave it out there with no type of understanding. If you're disciplining them, if something is happening, you have to bring perspective. You have to bring perspective to the situation so the child understands why this is taking place and what is going on here, so that they can have a healthy perspective of what you're doing as a parent. Okay? Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. Rather, bring them up with the discipline and instruction that comes from the Lord. So, the Bible's saying bring them up with the discipline and instruction that comes from where? From who? From the Lord. So, if we're provoking our children to anger by the way we treat them, then that's not from the Lord. That's not how the Lord disciplines and instructs us. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't provoke us to anger. Basically, he doesn't do stuff just to make us mad. Intentionally just to make us mad. We may get mad, but that wasn't the intent. You understand? And if we get mad, it's because we are not seeing things from his perspective. Just like the child may not be seeing things from our perspective. That's why we have to bring clarity to the situation. Because again, God cares about young people, man. He cares about the example that we set. As adults, it's not just something we can just say whatever and sweep under the rug. When your little baby was watching you cuss that girl out, that's on you. God holding you accountable to that. When you was in the store and she heard you on the phone talking to somebody about some dude, everything you said about that dude and what y'all finna do and everything, etc., that baby picking up on all that. And dudes, the same way that you interact with women, things you talk about, they picking up on all that. Whether you dealing with a female child or a male child, that female is getting a visual of how men see women, and that male child is getting a visual perspective on how to look at women and how to value women and how to treat women. So we have a responsibility, guys. We have a responsibility as adults to raise up the leaders of tomorrow. So yes, it matters what we do. It matters not just for our sake, but for the sake of the young people, the sake of the next generation who is observing us. Something just came up in the news about Nelly. I'm sure y'all heard about it. Nelly just got arrested on a rape charge, right? But that same day at his concert, he brought this little girl on stage, and she looked like she probably was about 10 or 11 years old, about my little girl age. And he was like all up in her face, like he was seducing her or something, or it was really weird. Like he was playing in her hair and sing. She don't even know who Nelly is. But guess what? Know who I blame? I blame the adult that thought it was okay to bring her to the Nelly concert and let her go on stage. Because why? We have a responsibility to set the example. It's on us, y'all. It's on us. We can't really, the young people of age who are pretty much pre-adults, they do have some responsibility if they can articulate that this is wrong. If they can articulate knowingly that what they're doing is wrong, then yes, they are accountable. Okay? But we also too have a responsibility because they learned it from somewhere. They got it from somewhere. And anything that a child is doing in society, you can always trace it back to adults. You can always trace it back to adults. If they got aspirations of being a gangbanger, trust me, they saw some older people around them being gangbangers. If their aspirations is to be a drug dealer, trust me, they saw some older people selling drugs. Okay, if they want to be a pimp, they saw some older people pimping. So we not exempt. We not exempt. And with all the things that we are going to be held accountable for in this for this life that we lived when we go before God, this is something we can't overlook. Is the example that we set for young people. We cannot overlook that. That is something that we also are going to have to answer for. And it's not just about your children. It's not just about your four and no more. You are an adult. You are automatically an example. You are automatically a leader to a young person. Automatically. By default. You can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, we touched on a lot of things today so far. You know, we talked about social media and the effects that our digital track record, our digital resume can have on the future of young people and the influence that we have on them. We talked about parenting and the example that we set as parents. We talked about the example that we set just out in society, you know, with young people. The example we set as leaders in society, you know, with young people. The example we set as artists and people that make music and write songs. All of this plays a part. All of this plays a part. All right, so I done ran my mouth a lot, so now we're going to bring it back to the audience. So I tell you what, I'm going to bring it back to that first question. Since we got like another 30 minutes left in the show, I'm going to bring it back to that first question. And anybody can feel free to chime in. And let's dialogue, people. Let's talk as adults and really come together now that we should have a clear understanding of the responsibility that we share as adults to set the right example for young people. Let's talk about some solutions. So back to the question. What are some things we can do as adults to set a better example for the youth of today? And that's for my people out there on IG as well, on Facebook. What are some things we can do as adults to set a better example for the youth of today? That is the question. Y'all talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Oh, share this video too. I keep forgetting that. That's something I gotta say. Share this video. Let a friend know about the Chop It Up with Popp show. This is the first episode. This is the pilot. You know, working out all the kinks and stuff. But we moving along pretty good. And in the next episodes, remember, this is the second and fourth Sunday of every month from 8 to 10 right here on Facebook Live and IG Live. We'll be touching on and tackling different subjects, different topics, and just dialoguing. I'm going to be bringing in some special guests to kind of co-host with me every now and then on these special topics. And if you have a topic that you would like to see us discuss on the show, just inbox me. You know what I mean? And then what I'll do is I'll go through the different suggestions, and you know, we'll pick one as the you know, I guess we can call it the pick of the day or the pick of the week, whatever, you know. But it'll be a special segment where we'll highlight some of the topics that you guys wanted to talk about. All right. So yeah, so the question is, what are some things we can do as adults to set a better example for the youth today? The youth of today. Anybody, chime in. I know we got people out there with some ideas, some thoughts. We do care about the youth, right? We do care about young people, right? We do care about the example that we set. Or maybe I don't know, maybe we don't. But after today's discussion, I hope that we see why we should care and why it is important. Because again, we do have a responsibility as adults automatically. So what are some things we can do as adults to set a better example for the youth of today? Y'all almost don't like that question. Nobody ain't got no ideas? Or maybe I touched on all of them. Is that what it is? I already done said all of them. I'm pretty sure there's a ton of them, ton more. I mean, there's so many things out there that can be, I guess you could put, readjusted or rethought out to be a better influence, a better example for the youth. But what can we do as adults? Because like I said, it starts with us. It starts with us. It starts with us, guys. All right. So if nobody don't want to answer the question, then we gonna keep it moving. I'll pose the question one more time. What are some things we can do as adults to set a better example for the youth of today? What are some things we could do? Or what are some things you're already doing? Maybe you guys are already actively doing something. You know, that'll be good to hear. Again, this show is being brought to you today by our sponsor, Ice Squad Entertainment. Ice Squad Entertainment. Independent record label, South Florida. We make hits with integrity, character, and excellence. Bringing change to the game. Follow us online. You can follow online at www.icesquadent.com, IG at icesquadent1, Twitter at icesquadent1. If you want to follow the artists, the group Ice Squad, it's at Ice Squad Rap, at Ice Squad Rap on Twitter and IG. On Facebook, it's just Ice Squad, one word altogether, ICESQUAD. Follow the movement. Change is coming. And what I'm going to do is for this month, we got another episode coming up on the fourth week, the fourth Sunday. If anybody would like to be a sponsor on the show, we will also advertise and promote your business, your whatever it is you got going on too. For the month of October, the rest of this month, we're going to be taking the first 5. I'm going to be taking the first 5 organizations and businesses and allowing you to sponsor for free. So no charge. Just reach out, and the first 5 will get free sponsorship on the next show. Because you got to give back. It's a divine principle. So if you got something going on, inbox me, and I will have you as the next sponsor. All right, so apparently nobody want to answer the question, so we're gonna go ahead and move on. We got about a little bit of time left. All right, so let's open the floor for questions. Do anybody have any questions on anything we discussed today? Like, if you want to know what my thoughts are on something, or if you have thoughts, feel free. We're talking about the youth, the leaders of tomorrow. We know that right now, the state of this generation, there's a lot of things that's out of whack, a lot of things that's just not going well in our communities. You know, there's a lot of senseless killings. Young people feel that it's cool to just pick up a gun and go shoot somebody like it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? We still seeing a lot of that. All these fight videos is out there. You know, you got your girl Catch Me Outside girl. Now she's the new spokesperson and representative for all of the young people who want to just be disrespectful to young people. I mean, disrespectful to adults, and still be rewarded for it. And who want to just be ratchet and rewarded. So she's now the spokesperson for that. So we definitely have to really tighten up and really reach these young people and try to counteract the foolishness that society is pouring out right now and pumping into their minds. You know what I mean? We all know that this is just the enemy that's trying to pretty much contaminate them, because they're going to be contaminated adults. If you can contaminate them as young people, they will be contaminated adults. So that's really what it is. It's a long range plan. You understand? So, you know, these are things that I blame us. Like I said, I blame adults. It wasn't no other young people that put her on that pedestal and put her in that position. It was adults that told her it was cool to be that way, that it's cool to act like that. And I find it hard to believe that these adults that's around her even care about what's her future. They may care about the money that she can possibly make from, you know, this music career, but do they really care about her as a person? Do they really care about her character? Do they really care about the things that she's now going to attract into her life by behaving that way? Do they really care? Nah, because everybody got their hand in the bucket. Everybody got their hand in the bucket trying to get their little piece, trying to exploit her. Instead of helping her and correcting her, they want to exploit her. And now that's making it okay. We got another person on social media that's being turned into a celebrity, I guess, if you want to say. Boont Gang. If you don't know about Boont Gang, it's this kid that just go around stealing stuff. He goes into businesses and he vandalizes and he steals stuff and runs out and makes videos of it, and everybody laughs and thinks it's a big joke. And what people don't realize is that there are also at least about 6 other copycats out there on social media who have now started doing the same thing in his name. There was one where a kid went into a store trying to do the same thing, trying to steal stuff or vandalize, and his mama caught him and beat his behind right there in the store. And that was goody for him, talking about he was doing the Boont Gang video. You see, this is how influential young people are. So we have responsibility. But see, here's the thing, is that these things become popular and become famous because adults sign off on it. Adults sign off on it. It can't go no further without some adult's signature. But yet we make it okay. We make it okay. And we really got to do something about that. So, any questions from the audience? Any questions? Any comments from the audience? Anything? Y'all see that little thing spinning? Okay. Woohoo! Yeah, I see. I just spiced up that video for y'all. Anything? Anybody got any questions, comments, anything on that? So what do y'all think so far about the show? Since this is the pilot episode, do you think it's going well? What do you think? Do you think, do you like the format? Let me know what's up. IG, what's good? I know IG like, man, y'all, you ain't even hollering at me. Listen, IG people, I see y'all. I'm trying to like navigate between both Facebook and Instagram, and I will get better at it. I promise. But IG, everything I say is applies to you guys as well. Okay, so feel free to chime in on IG, and I will respond. If you have any questions about today's show topic, comments, anything, feel free to chime in. Let me just say that, I want to thank everybody for participating today with the pilot episode. As I stated a while back, anybody who follows me, this is something that I'm doing to help develop my public speaking skills, you understand, and also to create a platform to address very important issues in today's society. But I'm always challenging myself. I'm never afraid to challenge myself. I'm never afraid to step out and try something new, you know what I mean, because that's what I've been doing all my life pretty much with my music. And so now it's a part of who I am. So if there's something else that I have in my heart to do, in my spirit, I'm not afraid to go for it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it blow or it flop, I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to make a mistake, because that's how you learn. You understand? So, I wanted to make sure I kept my commitment and did this show like I said I would, and I will continue it. And I believe that it will grow as time goes on. And for however long this season of this show is going to be, I'm also going to be dabbing into screenplays, not screenplays, but like actual like a screenplay, but for a screenplay for a movie. So I'm working on that, and you'll probably be hearing something about that soon, because guess what? I'm not going to limit myself in this life. I'm not going to limit myself. I'm going to live my best life now, because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So that lets me know that I have no limits. I have no limits, because God has no limits. You know what I'm saying? And I'm his child. I'm his son. So I shouldn't have no limits. All right. So is y'all acting shy or what? Because there's a whole bunch of y'all on here. Okay, so I guess nobody have any comments or suggestions or nothing. Nobody want to answer the question. Okay, fine. I guess y'all just observers, huh? Y'all not what's the word? Interactive. Yeah, that's the word. Y'all not interactive. Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. I guess that's the same thing like when you watch TV, huh? You're just watching. You're not interacting with it. Well, this is live, so it's not like TV. So in order for a talk show to work, we got to talk. But then again, most talk shows, you do just hear the host keep talking, but I'm trying to do things a little different. I really want to involve you guys in the process. You know what I mean? And I want to bring some of you guys on the show as a special guest. So we got a dialogue so we can see, where you at with it, where you at with the topics, you know what I'm saying? So we can have you on the show and you can give your, take on it. But nevertheless, it's all good. This is the first episode. This is the pilot. And that's how things go. When you're building something, that's how things go. See, I've already developed that mindset. You know what I'm saying? That's why anything I set my mind to, I can do it, because I understand the process of building and the process of growth, and I'm patient enough to be able to do that. I've been able to develop that type of patience because I know about processes, and it's cool, man. Listen, you can't be in the music business and not be patient, that's for sure, because you'll probably want to quit every week. I tell you, boy, you will want to quit every week. Hey, shout out to everybody who came out to the show today, man. Saw y'all folks out there, man. Y'all came through, showed the squad love, man, at the Sailboat Bend Festival in Fort Lauderdale. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Conundrum Stages, you know what I'm saying, for bringing us out there, and we had a good time rocking with y'all. You feel me? Looked like the audience had a good time. Everybody was moving and dancing, and it was good, man. It was sweet. I had a really good time. Was dead tired though. I ain't gonna lie, boy. Like my last few days been hectic, man. As y'all know, I was in LA just the other day. Flew right back to do the show today. Only got like a few hours sleep. Jumped up, got ready for, to do the show this afternoon, and then now I'm here back on with y'all tonight, to do this show. So yeah, understood. I'm sorry. That's how tired I am. My words starting to fall apart. But you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so been a long day. So after this I'm finna straight crash. But I just wanted to make sure that I kept my commitment to this show, because like I said, I'm not one of those people that just put stuff out there and don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a huge part of success. That's a huge part of reaching your goals, is your commitment level to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, a lot of people got great ideas, but they don't have the execution. They don't have the will to execute. They don't have the patience to execute. They don't have the drive to execute. That's why success is a mindset. It's not about a great idea. It's about a great mindset. Everything starts with your mindset. Because you can have the greatest idea in the world, but if you don't have the drive to execute it, then it's nothing but it's just going to be a great idea. That's it. It will never come to fruition. Feel me? All right, so see how we doing on time. All right, we got about another 10 minutes in the show, and I am definitely want to try to stay on time. I want to start on time, and I want to end on time. So with our last 10 minutes, we will do the wrap up. Okay, so just to wrap up, today's topic was the youth, the leaders of tomorrow. And from our discussion, as you can see, this is a very important topic. This is something that as adults we all need to really start thinking about more often, whether it's your children or not. That's not the important thing. The important thing is the responsibility that we have as adults to the next generation. We are their leaders, whether we want to be or not. You hear a lot of entertainers will say, I'm not a role model. No, yes, you are. You are a role model. We all are. All adults are role models, whether we want to be or not. And I think if we start taking that responsibility more serious, we will see the next generation be better than us. They will be better than we are, because we can identify several areas where we just jacked up as adults. But the next generation don't have to be like that. If we set the right example, they don't have to be like that. So my prayer is that everybody will find a cause that they can be passionate about and go hard. Find a cause that's going to be about others, about helping others, about building others, edifying others. Because guess what? Young people are watching regardless what you're doing. So if they're going to be watching, let them watch that. Let them watch you do something positive. Let them watch you do something that is going to be a help to society and not a detriment. Show them that example. You feel what I'm saying? Find a cause. Find a cause. Find a righteous cause now. Not just any cause, but find a righteous cause. And go for it, man. Show young people what it's like to stand for something. Something that is bigger than you. Stand for something that is going to bring honor to you and your family, and honor to God. Because that's what's missing, man, more than anything. I share that message all the time when I'm out speaking and stuff. It's about honor. We're missing honor in this world. We're missing love, but most of all, too, we're missing honor. Because if we thought about having more honor and showing more honor, then we would automatically be doing things differently. We need to honor God first and foremost with our lives. Honor God with your life. Honor yourself, because you got to respect yourself. And then your life will also show honor to your family, those who are in relationship with you, those who know you. You know what I'm saying? Show honor to God, show honor to yourself, show honor to your family. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you do in your life, you're not just representing you. It's not just about you. We need to lose that mindset. It's not just about us. What we do, it affects others. And the example that you set is a reflection on everybody you in a relationship with. Do you want people to say, yeah, that's my cousin, man. Yeah, that's my sister. That's my brother. Yeah, that's my family member. That's them. Yeah, be proud of that because you doing something honorable, or you want to be like, yeah, man, that's my cousin. Not like my first cousin, but that's like my, third or fourth cousin, actually. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, we family, man. We family. You don't want it to be that reaction, right? You know what I'm saying? Honor. Everybody want to be attached to honor. Everybody want to be attached to honor. So let's show more honor. Let's show more honor so that we can show young people how to honor themselves. Okay? Show people how to honor themselves. So, yep. Today's topic was the youth, the leaders of tomorrow. And I am your host, Lamont Popp Nanton. You can find me here live on Facebook and IG every third and fourth Sunday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. touching on various topics, from social topics to entertainment to the youth, like we just talked about. Whatever y'all want to talk about, man. Everything's on the table. Everything's on the table. Dig, everything's on the table. So whatever y'all want to talk about, man. I'm sure that the next show will have another interesting topic. And if anybody have any questions or any feedback, anything from any topic that we talk about, feel free to inbox me. What we'll probably do is in the beginning of each show, we'll recap some of the feedback from the previous show. So, have an opportunity for you to get your thoughts out there concerning that. All right. So again, it was a pleasure having everybody on today who was with us. To my people on IG, thank you. To my people on Facebook, thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I hope that I was a good host today. And I'm definitely working on my skills and then trying to improve that. And I'm going to be coming up with different thoughts and ideas. You know what I mean? Maybe I might bring on a producer to help liven up the show. To help me out in that area. Somebody that can produce the show and make it the best possible it can be. But yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Again, this show has been brought to you today by I Squad Entertainment. The I stands for integrity, character, and excellence. I Squad Entertainment. You can go online to isquadent.com. Find out what I Squad is up to. There's a new single out called Go Live by the group I Squad. It's really popping off. We will be shooting a music video for that soon. So y'all lay around for that. A lot of big things in the works. So stay tuned. You can follow on social media at I Squad Rap. At I Squad Rap. Okay, Twitter and IG. And if you're looking to follow the label, it's I Squad ENT1. At I Squad ENT1. Alright. So, with that being said, it is time to close for today. I thank everybody for tuning in. This is Chop It Up with Popp. And I am your host, Lamont Popp Nanton. Until next time, peace, love, and blessings. Bye-bye now.